All right, well, let's take a look at exercise 39. Exercise 39 is English to Latin exercises, translations. What I thought we could do here is just do a little bit of a demonstration of a few of those sentences. I haven't assigned any for the rest of chapter 5, but it's good every once in a while to work through these as a thought problem, and partly because it really focuses your attention on what you know and what you need to know. So let's take a look at the first sentence. There are many gods of the winds. Now, the best way to approach English to Latin translation is to think pretty hard about what is there in the sentence that Shelmerdine is trying to get you to review or to practice. And so I notice right away the use of are, not as a part of a whole verb like are doing or are walking or are wandering, but just on its own. And this is indicating to me that Shelmerdine wants me to practice something to do with the verb to be. Right. I can also notice the use of there are. This was one of the patterns that she suggests with the verb to be that we have to be aware of in English. Latin will simply put sunt dei, for there are gods. English needs that there. Gods are kind of means something different in English. Gods exist, I guess. But there are gods. Sunt dei. There are many gods gives us the chance to practice our new adjective agreement, right? So here, many is multus, multa, multum, an adjective that follows first and second declension patterns. If it's modifying a masculine noun, it needs to be second declension masculine. And so, because dei is our nominative plural, multi must be nominative masculine plural. Of the winds is one of the new genitive types she's given you this chapter. It's kind of showing a description. Gods of the winds. Winds is plural. Ventus, venti, a masculine noun. So we need the genitive plural, because it ends masculine. So in the second declension for winds, and that's ventorum. Sunt multi dei ventorum. All right, let's take a look at another sentence. I do not hesitate to wander in the forest. Now, I chose this one out because hesitate is one of those verbs that requires an infinitive, just as it does in English. You notice the I do hesitate. English uses all these helping verbs like do and have and is, where Latin wouldn't use them. So I do hesitate is in fact just dubito. Dubito means I do hesitate, or I am hesitating, or I hesitate. The context will help us figure out which translation into English is the best, but it's really just the same thing in Latin. It's been made negative, though. I do not hesitate, so non dubito. I do not hesitate, and then our complementary infinitive to wander. The verb wander is ero errare. So to make an error is to wander from the right path, or if you've read sort of those old romances, a knight errant, E-R-R-A-N-T, is a wandering knight. So I do not hesitate to wander. That is modified by a prepositional phrase, in the forest. And here we probably want to say in silva, so in the wood, in the forest, as a location. I suppose it is possible to translate it as in silvam, so into the forest. I do not hesitate to wander into the forest, instead of in the forest as a sort of location. Either one would be fine. They mean slightly different things, but not terribly affecting the sense. Non dubito errare in silva. All right, let's look at another sentence. This one's a little bit trickier, partly because I think it's a difficult sentence to translate to understand exactly what it is she wants. Um, the man's kingdom lies across the sea. Regnum est is how I would translate this. The man's kingdom is across the sea, but I'm pretty sure she wants you to practice using yakeo, yakere. So regnum yacet. Either one is fine with me. It's clear what kingdom needs as well. The man's kingdom, that's a possessive. So we need the genitive case for wir, viri, a masculine noun in the second declension. So regnum viri est, or regnum viri jacet. Now across the sea, probably transpontum, right? Trans is a preposition meaning across, and it takes an accusative. So, regnum viri jacet transpontum. He finally gives the girl beautiful gifts. So, here we have he gives, right? Sort of our standard use of the present tense in Latin, dat. He gives beautiful gifts. Now, our English, as we saw when we were introduced to the dative, you can really get confused sometimes. English can either use the indirect object second after the verb, he finally gives beautiful gifts to the girl, or removing the preposition, putting it immediately after the verb. He finally gives the girl beautiful gifts. What's difficult here is we have to understand what is being given and where it is being given. The thing that's being given is beautiful gifts. So it must be the direct object, the accusative case in Latin. Dat dona pulchra. He gives beautiful gifts. That makes the girl into our dative indirect object. He gives dona pulchra puellae to the girl. Another, they are preparing a plan with great care. This sentence asks you to use one of your new ablative forms or new ablative uses with the preposition cum. So they are preparing is pretty straightforward. That's one of our present verb patterns, right? They are preparing, parant. Plan is consilium, consilii, a neuter noun. The verb paro requires a direct object, so that's going to be the accusative case, parant consilium. They are preparing a plan with great care. I want to take out that adjective and just deal with care first. Cum cura, with care. Now Latin, when it's using cum plus a noun in the ablative case, modified by an adjective, we'll want that adjective to come first. So it would be translated parant consilium magna cum cura. There'd be nothing wrong with putting parant consilium cum magna cura, and you might find it places. But the normal word order, so the preferred word order, is to put that adjective first. And we can actually see it in our degree designations. So you will probably want to graduate summa cum laude, with the greatest praise, right? Summa, an adjective meaning highest, cum laude, with praise, or magna cum laude, or just cum laude. All right, there's some practice sentences. I hope you'll go back through these. Think about the word choices I've made. Think about the process of identifying the function of words within the English sentence and then matching that function to the case usage in Latin. Remember, always you want to keep track of those ablative uses, which ones need prepositions and which ones don't. It is one of the kickers in Latin with the ablative case. All right, hope this helps. If you want to try a couple of other sentences from exercise 39 and email them to me, I'll be more than happy to correct them. All right, thanks a lot.